Oh, hi there. How are you on this not Friday the 13th? So it must be the year of the Friday fan film. Uh, while the folks that have all the rights and everything seem to be fighting over money, it just seems like the Friday fan base is just saying, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Um, and that's uh, it's good and it's bad. Um, Never Hike Alone, which was directed by Vince DeSanti, kind of set this platinum bar. Um, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's if it were a non-fan film, it would be in my top half. Uh, but it doesn't technically count. Technically, that was a rather well-made movie, a little short, but working with the confines of what you have to work with. Usually, fan films get a little ambitious, and I don't know, ideas. There's no process for these ideas to go through where somebody knocks them down. It's just every idea we have. It's just it's ultimate fan service from somebody who wants to see things a certain way. And I was told by numerous people that Friday the 13th Vengeance is something worth watching. A couple of people have told me and asked me my opinion. Here it comes. There was another Friday the 13th fan film that came out earlier in the summer, which I watched as well, mistakenly on top of, I don't know what you want to call it. But so Friday the 13th Vengeance had the tagline "The Ultimate Friday Fan Film," and those are shoes to fill, I guess, is the most polite way to put it. So the first thing that caught my attention is, so you'll see here, this is C.J. Graham's autograph from Jason 6. His autograph on a kind of a bootleggy mask, but paying for the autograph, not the mask. And when I saw that face to my screen left, that's C.J. Graham. So that alone had me intrigued. It's interesting to see all these fan films coming out with name brand, for the Friday franchise, name brand actors. Steve Dash, who recently passed, is in the film. He was Jason in part 2, and that was quite pleasant. But again, I'll say this, as these people are going ahead and making the Friday the 13th movies they want to see, and kudos to them, because fuck it, if we gotta wait for Warner and Cunningham and all them to figure this shit out, we might be waiting a while. So there's Cody. If it's late, Cody, you have an open invitation if you want to, because you're fresh off of this. I don't know if you want to join me for a couple minutes. I'd have to open my Skype. But ambition's one thing, execution is another, and outright saying that you're the ultimate fan film. Whew, that's big. So right off the bat, my first words about the film are: it is not the ultimate fan film. It might be the ultimate fan film not directed by Deborah Voorhees, although I think technically Deborah Voorhees' 13 Fanboy is not using Jason or I think it's a separate story. It's Pamela Voorhees. Pamela. Why did I forget her name? So 13 Fanboy by Deborah Voorhees is a film with a bunch of Friday the 13th alum, and that might be the ultimate. But I don't think that's technically a fan film. More than a fan film. Okay. So I stand corrected. All right, so again, whatever the subtext or quote was, it was. Listen, this is more than a fan film, and okay, you got some actors in there that are recognizable. So the first thing, like again, Friday the 13th 6 is my favorite. I might be a little bit more strict or hard on people that try to do things in that Jarvis universe. And this, I'm going to say that for a portion of this movie, I was probably more jealous than upset because of a lot of these ideas. I have spurred out some of it at some point. And, kudos to them for making it, and me just aw shucksing and making my ideas. But, these are people that had similar ideas. I'm not saying that there's like theft or anything involved, but like my thing has always been, well, Jarvis was, he is the Jamie Lee Curtis of Friday the 13th. Why not get back to his story? That was the healthiest chunk there, 4 through 6, where Friday the 13th actually had a protagonist that we can kind of follow. Much stronger than any final girl, unfortunately. But so there's that. There's stuff about the past that I've said that I'd like to explore, and they do that, but they certainly do it differently. Another thing that is done with this film that catches any Friday 6 fans' attention is they open the film with the. Oh, actually, I guess I can show it technically. So they open the film. Those of you who are familiar with your Friday the 13th Part 6 special features, that is Tom McLaughlin, the director of Friday 6, and this scene is deleted. Like it was an ending that had storyboards from the original, from Jason Lives, that they never got to shoot. It was an idea that got, thrown away or whatever.
Just take me to
this almost is, yes, line for line,
right this way,
the deleted ending for Jason Lives. And, for the most part...
There they are, sir. It was a lot of work to get them side by side like this.
For the most part, this is storyboarded for them.
I guess it's understandable, I suppose.
What of the boy?
Sir, he's not in the grave.
You'd be smart to keep that to yourself.
Oh, no, sir, I wouldn't tell anybody. No, sir, nobody.
See, this is added on. This is not the ending. That's ad-libbed. He was polite and handed him the money in the...
Thank you, Mr. Voorhees. Thank you, sir.
That's similar. But see, that's C.J. Graham right there playing Elias Voorhees. Which, again, this right here, this is the storyboard. If you watch the special features for Friday 6, this is guess what? You've had this storyboarded. And I'm assuming that Tom McLaughlin was okay with it because shit, he's in the fucking scene. And there we go. So that's how the film opens. I have to keep in mind that there's tits. There's tits aplenty in this movie, so I want to make sure that I drag through this properly. Are you going through the whole thing? I might. There's parts I certainly have to skip over because of there's nudity in it. So that scene, already you're kind of. I mean, shit. Again, it kind of caught me off guard, but again, knowing that Tom McLaughlin wrote it and storyboarded it, It would have bothered me otherwise, but he's in the scene. He's got to be okay with it. Yeah. So that caught me off guard. And okay, so they're gonna take that deleted ending from part 6 and run with it. The problem is, if we're strictly focusing on that would probably be enough. This film is an hour and 35 minutes. Again, a fan film, an hour and 35 minutes. There's a bunch of second unit stuff that I think there's nudity here. So they have second unit / establishing shots in the beginning of the film that, got to keep away from that. So this is very similar stuff. Let me get to where it troubles me. Opening, this is the second prologue because that Elias Voorhees bit was one thing, and now they have these 3 campers, 4, 2 potheads and two fuckers that get killed by Jason, who's freshly out of the water again because movie. So it's Friday the 13th Vengeance. So there's question number 1. You have somebody who's played Jason previously, and you have technically you have 2, but I don't know the status on Steve Dash's health during the filming of this. I wouldn't expect him to do that, but as you can see, CJ Graham's in pretty decent shape. Why not have him play Jason? But that's one thing. Dustin has a little bit too much to chew here in this film. There are a couple of things that he does, a couple hats. See, now this, I don't know if Harry Manfredini provided anything to them. Like that's sneaky. I think some of it, like there's a clip or 2 that sounded like it came from the game, but I don't know. If they got him to do music, that'd be quite interesting. Deceptive title, that is. Come on, get to it. Somebody credits on a goddamn fan film. See there, editor, director, editor. Here's what frightens the fuck out of me. Written by 2 people. Story by 4 people. You have 6 separate credits for one film. And there are times where this movie certainly feels like it is 4 ideas. Harry created a whole soundtrack for this film with nods to everything he has done prior. Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing in it that sounds like something I can point to. Like I said, there is stuff in the soundtrack that sounds like something. Let me take this down because I need to fast forward through the tits. There's stuff in it that sounds, the closest thing that I could point to is the game, but other than that, there's nothing that, the soundtracks 1 through 6, I'm quite familiar with, especially 6, especially 4. 1 maybe, I'm quite familiar with. What's up, Dale? What's up, Sandra? What's up, Skyman? What's up, Zachary? What's up, Robert? So my thing is, you have the guy who's doing the music. You have the guy who's doing the music, and some of it doesn't stick out. Like I would have asked him to copy some stuff because there's never, like, he's got that Psycho-esque high violins running stuff in most of the Friday the 13th movies, and I don't remember it being present here. I can tell you something else that sounds like his another movie that he's done. Here, I couldn't really point to anything and say, oh yeah, that's Harry Manfredini. But I digest. That is one gripe. We open the film with 2 Jarvis girls. All right, so now there's ambition number 2. We're 6 minutes into a film where we've introduced the Jason Lives deleted ending, and now we've got relatives of Tommy Jarvis. So we're far ahead. His kids, they're at least, I don't know, 15. So we're at least 50. There's no real date on this thing. I think I could show you the cameo not the cameo, but these are the Jarvis girls having a talk about their dad and where he is, Tommy. This is, so what troubles me is tone.
Nothing. Oh, really?
And
okay, because it
when
like
horror
nothing.
movies try to be funny, it's very delicate.
Stay at Mom's this summer, so I could hang out
And
with
I
my
don't know what to
friends.
call what we're about to
I know,
see.
but I mean,
It's-
this is the
it's
only time
kinda
we ever really
jarring.
get to see Dad these days, and don't you miss him?
Yeah, but why can't he come visit us at
Who's mom
Mom's?
is my
You know
question.
Mom would never go for that, Ash. It's complicated.
They don't say who mom. Actually, I think they show a picture
Hey,
of who mom
okay.
is.
Why don't we
I don't know why they both be
and
brunettes.
visit great grandma tomorrow? I mean, she would love to see you, you know?
Great grandma would have to be on mom's
House
side
smells like
because
cat piss.
Tom's mom
You smell like cat piss.
is no longer with us.
Hands-on
This.
experience of pitching a tent. We let you handle the poles. We let you spread the canopy.
Break the killer toys.
We'll teach you how to start a fire. Rub the sticks together to get a spark.
Wait, killer tours!
Experience the terror that was the Jason Voorhees playground. Killer tours! We knocked those other guys out of the woods. Roar!
So, immediately when I saw this young lady, I said, "Oh, we're gonna see those. There's no way this young lady's in this movie showing off that much of her midriff and lungs without a payoff." And I hate to say that I was a prophet, but so this is goofy as shit.
We are now
That's the third thing in this movie that they're doing. They have these dueling tour guide groups that, I don't know, are having a bit of infighting. By the way, apparently the cost is like $700 to tour Crystal Lake. You can go to the actual Crystal Lake where the movie was filmed in Blairstown, I think, for $2. It's supposed to look like a used car commercial, so I think it was accomplished. Yeah, all right. It jars the tone of the movie, though. Right off the bat is, we're but 10 minutes into this movie, and this weird 2-camera hillbilly banjo music over the top. No, it definitely feels very hammy and Crazy Eddie. And again, this is the third element of this story that has been introduced, and we're not even at 10 minutes yet. And again, this is a 95-minute movie where you have the Elias storyline, you have the Jarvis kids, who eventually meet up with other survivors' kids. Like it's fan service, and it's neat to tell a story like, hey, whatever happened to so and so? Well, here's their kids, and they're somehow involved. My thing is, why do you need all this extra shit? You have 4 separate stories here, and you're packing this movie in, and it's ridiculously cluttered. So then you have, what the fuck? I forgot what the fuck these people's deal is.
Hey, stay there. I'm gonna be right there, okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Hey, Brooker, what's up?
How do you want to handle all the media attention that these Camp Crystal Lake murders have been getting?
Nothing's gonna change. Believe me. Those KIMA cocksuckers are gonna try to stir up shit no matter
Kiki
what
mama.
we do.
What about the bear attack story?
We stick with it. What are we gonna do? I mean, it's my official story. If I change it now, the press will be up my ass more than ever before. I can't change it.
What if more bodies start showing?
The acting's uneven, to be polite.
If you know, I mean, we'll deal with it when the time comes.
Steve
And then, you know
feels
what?
pretty natural in what he's saying.
The media can move on to some other bullshit story that they got in their pockets.
Could use a little more
Thank you, sir.
cadence, some up and down in his emotion, but again, fan film. Just nice to see his face. And now you have this shit.
Hey, baby. You want to see the horse part? Hey, where are you going? Come back. I'll clean you a place to sit down.
Yeah, okay. Hokey, and we're back to the banjo shit.
Got a smoke? Bullshit.
So what's the time code? 13 minutes. 13 minutes. It's all over the place.
You put the tail on tailgate.
Asshole!
Yeah.
Oh, you brought the buns, I brought the meat. Damn. She's a tough
5-star acting, as you can see.
Best you put your tampon in with a Nerf gun.
I don't
Never mind, sugar.
I don't know
Looks
what
like you got a
any of
little
this
smoky
is
anyway.
for. It's just too much. It's too much. They're gaining some weight. Yeah, so there's that. So now you have the Jarvis daughters looking to go find their father because he's missing. You have this Elias thing that's introduced. And you have these dueling tour guides, which, a little pet peeve of mine. Handheld for all this.
But Relati said it was a bear.
Blottie's full of shit, okay? A bear randomly hunts down and kills 3 people. You honestly believe
And the
that?
establishing shot is this beautiful flyover.
Like the crazy ones, right? I know it's been
If I'm
30
not
years,
mistaken,
but why
the
couldn't it
credits
be Jason?
had a second unit, so they could have had
We find him.
some decent stuff shot by a second unit and intertwine it with this handheld stuff.
Of course.
This is just my pet peeve. I don't like handheld,
Everything will be
you know,
okay.
exclusively throughout a film, and it's not exclusive.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a tripod every now and again? I guess is my question. This, nice shot, and we switch to this. So that's Elias Voorhees again. So you're led to believe that Elias is a killer. Again,
The thrills and
Tits
chills
McGee.
of the epic Legends 57 Killer Tour.
So here we have
We've
4
taken
more
delivery of
people in
the
this
gear
film.
already hauled to the campsite. So in just a few moments, we'll begin our tour.
Yeah, let's hope so.
So you have these tour guides
We saw
touring
the other
somebody.
ghost tour was $10 cheaper.
$10 cheaper when you're spending $700. So you have so much as far as what to follow is concerned. It must be cold out there, by the way. You have this dueling tour guide bit, which is probably the weakest element of the entire movie. That probably could have been dropped outright. It just kind of shoehorns a reason for everybody to go back to Crystal Lake. So this is the other set of people being toured, and it's just a lot. I fast forwarded. We're still at 17 minutes. We're still getting an overdose of stuff. It's just, you know, you're led to believe that Elias is stalking people. You have these two dueling tour guide groups. You have Tommy Jarvis's daughters running around trying to find Tommy, which, you know, you don't know what his status is. And, oh yeah, by the way, Jason came out in the beginning of the movie and killed a couple of people. That's 4 extra people that have just all been forgotten. So there's this. There's just, hey, more tour guides. Has anyone been killed yet? No, I'm trying to avoid. No, so the movie does open with 4 kills, 2 people having sex, and you have boobs for that. You have. I should keep a tit counter because there's a lot in this film. Staying true to Friday the 13th, a lot of girls show off their chest. There's people having sex and 2 druggies that got killed. And the effects, I don't think were incredibly great. And now here's Jason. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I remember there being clutter, and I don't remember much. Okay. Again, no show. We saw a bouncing head. Oh, he's fast. And the head crush bit. The blood really kind of weak, splurting out in two lines like that. That's weak. You know, it would have been nice for them to have C.J. Graham do that because that was a C.J. Graham introduced thing. Oh, is there a delay? All right, so I'll keep the sound down. I'll just narrate. Flyovers can be done easily with a drone. Yeah, I see that. I understand, Roger. It's such a nice steady shot when you're intertwining it with this gibberish. Again, it's just a pet peeve. It's not something that I could, you know, say that it takes me out of a movie. I just don't like handheld for an entire film. Action good for a handheld, otherwise risky. Oh, I see what you're saying. If you're going to shoot handheld, you might want to have something going on. Yeah, this is, you know, if you're doing a chase scene or something like that, yeah, handheld. But, you know, it's 4 people talking. Like, why do we have to just kind of generically hover with the shot? It's not necessary. I don't know. I guess these kids today, they want that realistic feel. This is the other Jarvis sister that are, you know, this is another group that is going to head out to Crystal Lake because they're trying to find their dad, who, if Friday the 13th 4 through 6 has taught us anything, he can hold his own. More people. Can you tell who? Never mind. Let me not get that. No found footage. No found footage. Drones are always a nice shot and simplest to accomplish. It's great. The establishing the second unit stuff is gorgeous. It's just intertwined with stuff. It's unfortunate that the delay is as bad as it is because I would like the acting is.
Jason killed his Aunt Sandra.
And my Uncle Rob. You went hunting for Jason, didn't come home?
4.
Her mother was one of the few people to see Jason before he went on his killing spree.
It's up to him.
And her Aunt Jenny survived him face to face.
See, why?
She actually stopped him once.
Okay, so how does Angelica fit in all this?
Not much coverage.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet Angelica Jarvis.
Wait, your dad is the Tommy Jarvis?
Yeah.
Jesus, man, he is like a living legend around
here. Is he?
Well, he's missing. He thinks Jason is back, and he's probably
exposition that is unnecessary.
again.
This is what we've been waiting for, right?
If you open the line with the Tommy Jarvis, you don't have to say he's a living legend around here. That's weird. It's excessive.
To clear our family name, expose the truth.
You mean an opportunity to find Angelica's dad?
Stiff.
Yeah, but we all live with the same stigma, right? Every one of us.
Exactly. We find Tommy, but if that son of a bitch is out there again, at least we come back with some proof.
I've interviewed everyone I could about the attacks. Jeff, Joey, and Heather are the only three been waiting.
So there's this other side story.
Back.
And we all know that your dad would do the same for us.
All right.
How do you know that?
We'll go on a search mission to find your dad, okay? If this really is Jason and we actually find him, what's the plan?
Right.
The shot selection, like I said, the coverage is just not there.
Guns. The whole fucking lot.
I don't know why we're presented in the 270 frame, because you're not doing much. I'd venture to say that the lenses aren't that wide angle.
Ash, I need to go somewhere for a little bit. I'm gonna drive you over to Donna Elaine's house, okay?
So this is the younger
friends and I
of
have
the
something very important
Jarvis
we need to
girls.
do.
Can't I come with you?
No, this is adult stuff.
But I can help.
No, sweetie, you have fun with Donna tonight. I'll be back tomorrow.
What about our sister?
License plate
Summer?
Dukes
I
of
thought you
Hazzard?
said family
Is that?
first.
Oh, I didn't catch
Are
it.
you going to hang out with your friends?
It's not like that.
Actors.
This is about Dad, isn't it?
See, now I don't know the stipulations of the crowdfunding. I mean, there could be people that paid a pretty penny to be a part of this, and you know, and here's two more people. Dude, I forgot some of these people. This is way too ambitious, especially considering that last chunk of kills. I don't know. Would we see it? We see a bouncing head? Oh no, this is Elias. So wait, we have dueling groups and dueling killers in this movie. Joe Bob's male girl looks more like a fake Barbie doll. In real life, it's scary. Is that who that is? That who Tits McGee is?
Jesus Christ. No. You lost?
Or you boys lost?
By the way, how old is Elias supposed to be? Because
Yeah, right over there.
oh, more of this. Beautiful, beautiful, slow. Yes, it's obviously a drone. And now we're back to jittery. Oh, that's neat. I didn't realize that the first time. It's a mask from part 4, and just there because movie, fan film. Elias is 80 plus. Doesn't look 80 plus. Moving around quite well for 80 plus. This is worse than butt fudge. Yeah. She's a sweetheart even if she's had too much work. Oh, work done, do you mean? She's a horror encyclopedia. She's not a very good actor. I'll say that the absolute. Smoke coming from in front of the car, not the trunk itself.
Girl, it's your piece of shit car. You don't even have a car. Girl, try it again.
More people. Okay, that might have been CGI. There's the closest thing to a neat kill we've seen. This girl's Joe Bob. Probably has something keeping going, which since you watch, you already know. The book. Oh, that's right. That's right. Multiple certificates. Yeah.
First, you're gonna need a babe. Or a good website.
Oh shit. I don't remember what.
Sweatpants do the best work in these situations.
So here's more humor.
I think there's some confusion about what kind of tent we're going to erect here. Luckily, we have Dean here.
I'm pitching a tent and he's making an erection joke.
Darn right I am, Frank. Now the key to pitching a tent, make sure you got your rigging down. Now it might seem a little limp at first, but don't worry about that. The more you work it,
I'm just trying to make sure there's no nudity.
Here, go and take the tip, Frank. Here, thank you.
Yeah, this is
As you see, I continue working it, and look how long.
this is really neat that you shoehorned a Beavis and Butthead joke into your film.
Inside? Not really.
But what the fuck purpose does that serve? Like, how many jokes are you gonna get into this movie? We're not even at the quarter mark yet. My film school teacher always told me that by the half an hour mark of a 90-minute film, you should know what's going on with the movie. And fuck, I don't know what the fuck to tell you about this movie, where it's going, who's doing what, who's important. You have Elias going around killing people. You had Jason in the very beginning, who's had the least screen time, I think. He's bouncing around and killing people. Then you have this Jarvis side plot. It's just really, really ambitious and not really hammering home much of anything. Probably something, not smoke, it's fog every time Jason's around from what I see when he shows up. Yeah, I don't know about that. You're giving a lot of credit to it. If that's how you want to, relate that, all right, I guess. I mean, I'll keep an eye on the next time Jason comes around, but I don't think the fog is something. Who crowdfunded this? A lot of people. It looked like the smoke was coming from her butt and not the car. That's plastic surgery scariest thing I've seen so far. This is what happens when the frat brothers get wasted and make a film. Can March 2020 come quicker, please? Yeah, I need to get a status update on the Never Hike Alone shit. Nobody stands side by side having a conversation unless you're in a theater play. Very good, Roger. The blocking that's what they call it. The blocking's a little fucking weak. I don't think the lenses they're using are all that. If you want to get everyone in the shot, step back a bit. You're cutting people off. Everybody's talking. Nobody gets a close up. It's a lack of coverage.
Thank you for your time.
And you're depending on people who aren't the strongest actors to carry scenes. And interact, and she has her own close-up. I watched this the other day and thought it was good. With the body count, I could hear Another One Bites the Dust by Queen playing in my head. This is proof you shouldn't make a film just because you're a horror fan. Yeah, I mean, if people enjoy it, then that's neat. Oh, hey, by the way, there's this group of prisoners. Too much is too much. And this is a fan film. And this shit is too much. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. It looks like 12, 13. This might be crowdfunders here that are in these shots. Long story short, they're about to get fucking. Oops. Oh. Let me make sure the kills aren't anything noteworthy.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Steve Dash, Sheriff, covering shit up.
I got a couple of kids on Cunningham Road that are nosing around up there.
Cunningham Road.
See what you can do.
Nice.
You see them, send them packing, all right?
Yeah, I don't see fog. I don't. Oh, there's some. It's weak. Don't. All right. All right. Got stabbed with a sign. All right, so we have. Hey, somebody's Heine. We have a Heine. Close-ups for everyone.
No, that was just a bird or something.
A bird or something.
Should we go? Should we go? We can't run in these woods like that. Jason could already be here. Angelica, wait!
Pull up.
Yeah, I don't. Oh.
Shit. Look at that. Someone's throwing away a perfectly good Jeep. Fucking 1%ers all wasteful, throwing shit away.
He's got face makeup on.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking cup holders. Hell yeah.
Like, why? What is this?
Wait, pull up.
What?
That's my car.
Looks like I'm driving after all, Officer Fucker.
That's my fucking car.
Well, way to leave the keys in it.
Fuck. Oh, fuck.
Fuck! You fuck!
Like I mean, there's horror movie stupidity, and then there's.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you could even file this under contrivance.
Insurance? You have insurance, right? Our guns are in that truck, you fucking asshole. Oh, shit.
Yeah, okay, so they don't have their guns now. Again, contrivance or.
Go out there unarmed. God, what about my dad?
All right. You guys can go back if you want, all right? I'll stay here with Angelica.
Again. Just.
Fuck.
Blocking, just.
Wait, come here.
Coverage. One shot, one angle, no
What
close-ups.
about these? I know it's not much, but
6 people
it's better than nothing.
interacting. Close-ups? What are they? Medium shot? What's that? Axis. I like that he's pissed about the weapons and not the car.
Take this.
It's a short film with money behind it, not a fan film.
You sure about this?
Wait, what? Have you seen the Jurassic World short? No, I haven't.
All right, well, we stick together, we'll be fine.
Which way do we go?
I think the quickest
Why
way
wouldn't
to
you have a
campus is
fucking
this
gun on you if you're searching the woods for an undead serial killer? Yeah. I don't know why they left the keys in the car, left weapons in the car. There's just so much about the.
Who put a fucking tree in the middle of the goddamn road?
So he crashed the car.
What the hell are you doing, dipshit? What? You think this is Halloween or something? Hey! Fucking talking to you, Mickey Myers.
Cute.
What, are you fucking deaf or something? Get the fuck out of my way. Jesus Christ. You smell like a goat queef on a pair of hillbilly balls.
All right, yeah, shoehorning more,
What, you
more
think you're fucking tough or something?
cute
Say, get the fuck out
phrases
of my way.
and sayings and.
Alright.
I could do without this. I wouldn't have used that close-up. Again, more shit that... Okay. And his spine ends in the middle. I don't know, guys. I don't know where the money went on this movie. But it's just I don't know. This is where camera work it does wonders for you. And when you stick to wide shot and then a close up of Jason's face where you can see the eye hole with the fabric in it, cinematography can help you in situations where you don't have money, especially if you don't have money to make horror movie, slasher movie kills. Another thing is, hey, how about have less people in the movie so it's not so glaring how much you're not showing? You have all these people and you're not... Again, I don't have the details as to whether or not that was part of the Indiegogo goal or whatever, you know, pay a certain amount and get yourself killed, which might explain why there's a bunch of people dying in this movie. But again, like I said, the platinum bar has been set by Never Hike Alone. People complain that there's not enough kills in that. There's not enough whatever. It's a fan film with a low budget, and he did it right. I'd rather less kills that are done well. I mean, shit. The first, what is it, 2 acts of that movie just don't have much of anything as far as kills are concerned. But he's playing within his range there. Money went to CJ and Steve. Yeah, I bet. And all right, cool. You got these people in the movie, but again, stick with that. If you're going to get them in the movie, don't make it a slasher. Make it the Elias Voorhees story and catch us up with that shit. CJ and Steve donated their money to Shriners alongside 30,000 more. Well, yeah, that's good. I just don't understand why you would be so ambitious with this movie. Another not pretty shot. If you blocked this better, you could get everybody in frame. Or, close-ups, medium shot. All right, so this is where some nudity happens. So we're halfway through the movie, and there's a whole lot of, it's kills that you have no real attachment to, and of course Friday the 13th is filled with a bunch of that, people that get killed that you have no real attachment to. But there's no anything there. You're kind of with character A for a little bit, and then you're kind of with character B for a little bit, and so the people you're spending the most time with are Elias and the Jarvis girls, and those are the Jarvis group, should I say. And you have these people. I mean, that redneck dude who got his head ripped out with half a spine. He's had a hell of a lot of lines for somebody who's, I don't know. Are you supposed to hate him and want him dead? Because that's a big miss, if you're asking me. I'm just trying to find, because there's a bunch of nudity at this point. So Steve Dash, the sheriff, is noticing that Jason is back, and he just got the footage of the kills from the cop, the body cam thing. There's a flashback that I really am trying. No, there's nudity. There's some legendary.
A lot. They never found Jason's body in the lake.
Movie used just under 25 of the 55,000 raised in backing. So where'd the other 30 go? They had to donate it. Donate or Mott's still got the money. Yeah. Then the goal should be 25. You can't do anything else. If you're not spending that money on the movie, if I donated $10 towards that and I felt like 4 of it went to something that I wasn't contributing my money to, I'd be a little pissed. They could only use what was asked. The rest over the cap had to go towards charity due to fan film and copyright balancing. I don't think it's 25, but it's close to that. No, you raised twice as much as you could spend, and you kept taking money. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Searched for about a week, and then his dad.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't contribute to this, because I would have felt. I mean, listen, it's great that you have a cause that you're donating to, but that's not what I'm putting money towards. I'm putting more money towards this.
Whatever happened to his dad?
Passed away. Alone and grieving from the
Fucking. All right, so
Sounds like he really loved his kid.
I think I can show this now. It's supposed to be him in a flashback.
Mean you can't find him?
Close up would have been help here.
No.
Drama. Acting. Yep, there he is. He found him. This is a flashback. Not that you'd... Oh, wait, are we intertwining? This goes back and forth with a nude scene. I have to make sure that the the Evil Dead book. This is neat. This is something that I've thought of explaining Jason. So there's that's something that I enjoyed. We're here at the 53-minute mark of a movie, and it's finally starting to go somewhere for me. Oh, okay, they're starting to explain, what it is about Jason and how he can keep dying and keep going on. So I kind of got invested and really fired up about this at this point. It goes back and forth. I'm just trying to find the flashback, which is interesting. Spoilers, I guess. We're well past the halfway mark. If you want to go watch this for yourself, it's free on YouTube. Might want to look what up. Okay. Those of you who are familiar with Friday the 13th 1 should recognize this. I want to make note that shit. That marshmallow is not a marshmallow. You couldn't afford marshmallows? Now it look like toilet paper. So this is an interesting angle of
Does Mary Ann get as good as I do?
lines right from Friday the 13th. The prologue to Friday the 13th here as seen through a different angle.
I meant everything.
No cuts. So, yep. So now we're retconning. And the implication is that Elias...
You let my boy drown.
Uh-huh. So now what? Friday 1 doesn't...
Wow, I think I've had as much...
Oh, shit. Shit. If I wanted to see a crackhead make a movie, I'd go find the dude that hangs out at a liquor store on Wall Street and give him a camera. Yeah, that they redid the original Friday the 13th. And now we just have boobs. Boobs. Lesbianism. Progressive. Good for you. See, I mix. Here I was thinking that. So I watched 2 Friday fan films yesterday, and there's a part that I'm waiting for that is not. It's not here, and I'm thinking it's on the other one. So. I think I could show this. Strategic. Oh boy, can't show that. Another kill that really more sexy time.
Jesus fucking Christ. Just fucking bone and get it over with.
So there's just a bunch of questions that I have, and none of it really makes sense, and they keep going back and forth, like they're flashing back to Elias, Jason's killing people in the present day, and I've just found out that the things that we were led to think in the original Friday the 13th, it's one thing to retcon, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but now you're retconning the original, which is fucking ambitious. I'm trying to think, because somebody told me that the kills were awesome.
Yo!
Drunk.
You a bear? Nah, like a bear to me. Shit.
CGI.
What kind of name is Flora, anyway? Sounds like an old maid.
So there's... I guess I'll leave the rest for you guys to figure out. So my complaints with the film stem from everything that we've seen right now. We're at about the hour mark of the movie. We've been introduced to a bunch of different shit in this film. And now we add element number 5 that we're changing the base of this story. Too nice, yeah. The head on the car window was actually good. Yeah. There's just a lot. There's a lot of kills in this movie, and I don't understand. Well, we didn't actually see Pam kill those first 2 kids. Maybe both parents were involved. Just a thought. Yeah. That's fair. But there's no real reference to Pamela other than the tombstone there. The implication is that Elias made sure that Jason was okay. Like the questions you have after that, like, okay, Elias went and found Jason and did the Evil Dead book shit to bring him back to life. But if they were such a tight-knit family, where part one is Pamela talking about her special boy, this, that, the other, that would lead you to believe, because he already did the killing in the 58 murders, so, or 57, whatever. With the way that Pamela talks about Jason, you're led to believe that with what they're now showing us here in Vengeance, that they're a pretty tight-knit family who stays together, kills together. So if he could bring his son back from the dead with the Necronomicon, I can't get it out, the Evil Dead book, why not do the same with Pamela? Or does that spell only work once? There's just a bunch, you're trying to go back and do things in service of your story here, which eventually we find out that Elias has died a couple of times. So there's no real value to any of this at that point, where that Elias and Jason, whatever happens, is essentially pointless because they'll just come back anyway. It's all for naught at that point. You've introduced separated kids loving their kids separately. Never happens, I'm sure. Separated parents loving their kids separately. Yeah, but why would Elias make sure that the two tombstones were together? It's just you're introducing this element that now really opens a hell of a lot more questions than it does answers. I think you're doing a lot of dot connecting for them. And that's cool. If you enjoy it, that's awesome. I'm glad that there is stuff in the 21st century with Jason Voorhees in it that people enjoy. That I cannot stress enough that excess is better than ignorance in the case of movies. Why would he bring Pamela back? Yeah, he would bring Pamela. Why would he be so worried about her being next to Jason? Again, it's a question. If you're so worried about them two being together, why not bring her back? If he's concerned about having Jason's empty tombstone next to Pamela's, there's just pieces that don't add up. If he's that involved in Jason, then you would surely think that, where the fuck was he for Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and why is he coming back around now? What was the other Friday the 13th film I saw? It's the other one that came out in August, Return to Crystal Lake. I guess I'll do a separate one of these for that. But the movie introduces this element that can take you nowhere. He abandoned them both in canon, I thought. I mean, I know this is retcon, but who? Jason? Whatever happened to LeBron James producing new Jason movies? Was that a rumor? Yeah, it was a rumor. LeBron James, Yikes, wants to get a piece of it. It's all hung up until Cunningham decides that he's willing to fork over money and not fight the thing he's already lost. It's still going to be hung up in court. But yeah, a lot of people want to buy it, but I don't know. I mean, unless they want to buy all the rights from Cunningham and then work a deal out with Miller and get going, that's a different thing. But as of right now, they're stuck. They're stuck in courtroom bullshit. So, the movie's ambitious. It's got a whole bunch of shit going on for no real reason. The Jarvis daughter element is introduced for the mere payoff of having Elias at the end, threaten them and let them know that it's on. But again, Jason didn't keep track of the people from 3, the people from 8, the people from 9. Like it's weird that they bring Tommy Jarvis here to make it a focal point that Elias is going after them. Only at the end too, mind you, that these are like parallel storylines until the very end where they try to tie everything together. And it just doesn't work for me. And this is a fan film. It's not more than a fan film. It's a fan film. There are neat ideas. Like I said, there's a bunch that I've wondered, and I'm glad for them that they went back and tried to do some stuff and intertwine with the storyline. It's neat. Again, a lot of the stuff I genuinely thought about and said, hey, why not blank? I never thought to have Elias be the killer at any point in any of that, but I always thought that they should explain why Jason is unable to stay dead, and that was neat. I'll give them credit for that. I mean, they had that damn Evil Dead book in part 9. You might as well just hammer home that point. But there's too much that kind of falls on itself. The acting is stiff, to say the absolute very least. The cinematography is weak, to say the absolute very least. The kills are no. There's a shit ton of them, and a lot of them feel very, I don't know, effortless. They might as well be off-screen kills with the amount of, I mean, shit. Again, this is where cinematography comes in. You could do camera tricks. Film something and edit in reverse, where you have somebody taking something. I mean, that's the one thing that I remember taking in from Tom Savini in part 4. A lot of the knife to face kills, or the knife to face kill, was shot and done in reverse. You pull it out of their head and then play the footage backwards. That's a way to cheat that. It's just odd that they never thought to do things like that. Another one you might want to check out is Here Comes the Night, a Friday the 13th fan film. If you motherfuckers keep respecting, press F to pay respects as far as execution. Yeah. You people keep suggesting these Friday the 13th fan films, and I told you this years ago before I saw Never Hike Alone. I said, fan films, guys, it's quite a lot to ask somebody to sit down and watch a fan film. And then there's the other one that I watched that doesn't have nearly as much production value and has a similar fall, where it's ambitious with people and the story's kind of weak, and it's way too funny. It tries to be way too funny. The coroner death was in reverse. Yes, the head. Yes, thank you. There was at least 2. There might have been more. At no point in the first movie do we see Pam killing anyone interesting. That's a fair point, James. But again, by the same logic, why not? Well, fuck. But at that point, you just have a bunch of questions. Just way too many questions at that. Yeah, don't get me started on that. I'm gonna have to sleep on that now. But as far as comparing to fan films, Vengeance appears to be a really, really nice, pretty, got a lot of toys in this film. A lot of Friday the 13th alum that just don't there should have been a no man somewhere in the production. A lot of writing credits, a lot of ideas that run parallel to one another, and none of them really get a proper payoff. Again, at the 90-minute, or excuse me, at the 1 hour mark, you get this thing that it doesn't really matter if Jason dies. So there's that. So even if they do kill Jason at the end, it doesn't matter. And then the same thing is said about Elias, and it's just like, all right, so what the fuck? If you can keep coming back to life, what are you worried about? Why you keep killing everybody? Just I have more questions than you've given me answers. Too many cooks, yeah. A pretty mess. Yeah, you know what it is? It's like somebody dumping a bunch of money into their Kia, like getting rims and getting a new engine, and in the end you're still driving a Kia. Well, you took the money that you could have spent on a halfway decent Mercedes, and you made your Kia look nice. Me, I'd rather, the dueling tour guide thing, unnecessary. Take that out. Just take it out. Like it's not necessary in this movie. That would explain why Pam couldn't kill the final girl. So much to think about. Yeah. All right. I'm not trying to cross that bridge right now. But again, it leads to, all right. So now you have to sit back and retcon the bridge from 1 to 2. What's wrong with a Kia? Quit hating. Nothing's wrong with a Kia. But if you put $30,000 into that Kia and you still had that Kia, I would say you've made some mistakes. And again, it's a Friday the 13th fan film. If you like tits, there's plenty of them in this. If you like to see Jason running around and killing people, but aren't really concerned about what you're seeing in those kills, there's this. Again, excess is better than ignorance when it comes to Friday the 13th. But this just left me kind of, a couple of ideas that I was with. I like the idea of explaining why Jason can come back, but I explore that further. Just, you could have just made this movie about Elias and Jason and what that's about, and what if Jason can't stay dead, and you're using that potion, not potion, the magic spell to bring him back. There's not much investment in Jason getting defeated. We've got to learn what his. All right, so if he's invincible there, what can beat him? And if you can just pull yourself to get stabbed and be okay, what can we use to defeat you? If Elias and Jason are essentially unbeatable, what's my investment to finish this movie? Banana girl on the side of the road, unnecessary. Paintball scene, unnecessary. So many people in the franchise are unnecessary. You're absolutely right. But the banana girl scene is a nice kill. Paintball, that's a neutered kill. So what we got of the paintball scene is like a bunch of kills here. There's a bunch of kills that seem to be cutaways. The banana girl, you're getting a like what, I don't know what was it, a knife through her neck? I forgot what it was, but she got stabbed in the neck, and you're seeing it. That's where I think, take some of this money that you're using on this film and put it into an SFX crew, and at least get 3 or 4 like trophy kills and minimize that. The difference between unnecessary in a studio project and unnecessary in a shoestring budget is unnecessary in a studio project. They're still going to put money behind that. It's always bothered me that Pam killed everyone so easy until the last one. This film has changed my entire Friday the 13th world. Well, I'm glad for you, James. That's good. That's good. I spent 80 grand to upgrade my 1999 Kia. Well, congratulations, you could have bought yourself a Land Rover. And you're driving around in a Kia. Jason and tits are enough for me. I'll just mute it. Yeah. Yeah. It's ambitious. I don't buy it. Pamela's, but it says it's supposed to be a Friday the 13th Part 1. Hey, what the fuck thing. But as far as fan films are concerned, it's pretty. It's pretty. There's a lot to it that some of the acting is painful. Some of it isn't. It's really neat to see Steve Dash in something. I mean, he's been passed for a while now, so it was really kind of neat seeing him perform and not and a decent role at that too. It's not like he had one line. There's a line where he says, "I'm the real Jason," which is pretty neat for a couple of reasons. I like how everyone has their own franchise. CP has Friday, Cody has Child's Play, and Brian loves Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. I haven't watched the fan film yet. Well, by all means, check it out. Yeah, so it I've seen better. I've seen worse. But the problem is a lot of money was, a lot by what we're noticing of fan films standards was put into this, and it just doesn't cut the mustard for me. It leaves it. There's ambitious stuff. There's way too many storylines and just not wrapped up properly. And again, they made a film. They did a film start to finish, 90 minutes. It's complete. It's comprehensible for the most part, and that's winning already. Like, I cannot take that as a twice over failed filmmaker. I cannot stress just having a finished product is that, like, that's winning. That's the accomplishment already. But once you get past that and you get towards the storytelling and some of the elements of the filmmaking, yeah, I'm all set. I like your ideas. They certainly do bring up a lot of what ifs, but when I have those theories in my head, they're being acted better, and my brain camera is switching shots. There have been worse Friday the 13th fan films. That's right. And I guess my point with this is there was a lot of money by fan film standards put into this. And I think pound for pound, you're kind of getting something watered down. And that's terrible. Like, I don't have the exact dollar amount. This versus Never Hike Alone. Never Hike Alone, shorter by about 30, 40 minutes. Far less ambitious as far as, putting people on a screen. Some people don't like that. Some people say that it's, it's too slow. The what is that? A GoPro that those GoPro shots were a bit too much. But he stayed in his lane there, and it's pound for pound, it's better. He didn't try to get 50 kills, and not really do much. Like, it's like taking $1 and getting 20 Bazooka Joe gums. Wow, I'm dating myself. As opposed to a Snickers bar. There's just it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I'm happy that there's more Friday the 13th stuff out there. Again, excess is better than ignorance. So if there's people out there that enjoy this, that's cool. I'm not there. What's up, Dezombified? What's up? all we need is for someone to love the franchise, the Halloween franchise. Yeah, I don't know about that. We have someone who does that too soon. Never Hike Alone was phenomenal. Yes. And he's given us 2 Jason-related pieces of film. I guess the music video, not really a movie, but still a neat little look into that world that 5 minutes is presented better than this 90. Again, that's unfair to compare a 90-minute film and how long it takes to shoot something like that and get that together than it does a 5-minute film. But the fact remains that they spread themselves pretty thin here. And it's a shame that there was nobody in the process. I mean, I don't know. At least as far as it seems, there was nobody around in the process to be like, yeah, don't cut that. We don't need that. And that is part of the problem between a fan film and something that's actually produced and distributed by somebody. They'll be like, wait a minute, no, cut that shit out. We don't need that. It's okay. I've seen better. I've certainly seen better. I've certainly seen worse. And that's my problem here. I saw 2 fan films in the same day. Return to Crystal Lake, which is a far less ambitious movie. And it doesn't call itself not just a fan film, but it's a fan film, and you could tell that there's a hell of a lot less money into that. But pound for pound, I'll go back to that. If you're using $1 the same way, I don't know. I'm curious to see what would happen with the same budget from both of these filmmakers. And I guess I'll get into Return to Crystal Lake at another time. But it's free. It's free. Go if you want some new Friday the 13th. There's 90 plus minutes worth of it in Friday the 13th Vengeance. But I don't know. Out of 5. I'm going to give it a 1.5. And I realize that's pretty tough. Vince is a better storyteller. You said that, not me. Amen. Less is more. Sorry I didn't enjoy it. It's okay. Like, I'm happy that it's around, is what I will say. There's ideas there that I'm certainly down with. I just wish there was other directions, but that's just my gripe. I could be in the minority, so that's this is just my opinion. By all means, go watch it, make up your mind yourself. It's free. Like there's no other. There's nothing to argue with it. Give it a try. The worst thing you're wasting is time. But we all have different tastes. People, Friday the 13th franchise is quite synonymous with tits and kills, and there's certainly tits in this. The kills left a bit to be desired. But oh, what happened? Drama bully. Oh boy, you're adorable. This guy obviously has the wrong chat. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. Yeah. So like if I didn't know the budget, if I didn't see so many names so many faces that I was familiar with, maybe I'd be less hard. It just feels like there's a bunch of four parallel storylines that really don't need to coexist. And I felt like if they dropped the dueling tour guide thing, you could have focused a bit more on the other stuff, and maybe even not even have the Jarvis kids as a storyline and just focus on Elias and Jason's relationship. And again, this is me, somebody who would like to see more about the lineage and that told. Doing something like that would take half of a movie and not have kills in it. And that's not what Friday the 13th is, unfortunately. So I get it. They made a Friday the 13th movie. There's nothing I can argue with that. I prefer Never Hike Alone, which took its time and managed to stay within its bounds and still kind of expand on the lore a bit. I would just like to see the story fleshed out a bit here. But again, by all means, check it out. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse. I'm not saying don't watch it, because again, if this were a major thing that you had to drop $20 into, but it's not. It's free. It's on YouTube. No excuses. All you have to waste is time. And if you're going to watch this or some shitty big budget thing that these studios are, you get my drift. You get my drift. We all have different opinions. We're all wrong and we're all right at the same time. Yeah, still better than Ice Cream Truck. I agree. That's an easy one. It is definitely. Is that a fact? It is definitely better than Ice Cream Truck. And that, again, that's a movie with a bit more budget. So there's just things that I'm nitpicky because there's ideas that I really wanted to see expanded on and weren't. I'm a bit nitpicky because there's things that make me scratch my head about the rest of the franchise that don't get answered. I'm nitpicky because there's a bunch of shiny toys in this, and it's a lot of work done to a Kia. There's a lot of surrounding stuff that makes you wince. But as far as Friday the 13th is concerned, again, I'd rather it than not have it. And there's people that enjoy it. Many people have said, CP, let me know what you think. I quite liked this. That's cool. That for those people, I'm happy. I might go back to this and check it out, and maybe something grows on me, but I have more questions that, kind of puzzle me than anything. And oh well. Again, finished film. That's the award there. Twice over failed filmmaker right here. So the fact that it's a finished product, that's the win here. But that should about do it. I have 5 crappy Planet of the Apes movies to watch first. Yeah, I would say that this is better than at least one Planet of the Apes movie. Brian follows drama alert. Is that really? Yeah, there was no drama. Somebody just mentioned drama. So apparently we cannot go without referencing drama, but cool. You better talk her before what? I would rather have watched Sorority Babes in Slimeball Bowlerama 5 times in a row. You gave me a very accurate rating. Yeah, no, I listen, slasher kids, there's stuff here. They teased me a little bit. They teased me a little bit with this extra storyline with the Elias storyline and that. I just wanted to see that hammered home. Don't worry about killing 25 people and not really, hammering home those kills. There's at least what, 5 kills that I showed you that just kind of, leave a lot to be desired. I would have rather, instead of have 25, again, and I don't know the details. These people might have paid to be killed, so there's that. Instead of having 25 people get killed, I'd rather kill 5 and really, really hammer it home. And again, camera tricks. Film it, film a thing coming out of their face and play it in reverse. Again, a lot easier for me to judge from here. And I'm a little bit different. Again, opinions. They're mine. I'm right. You're wrong. But in other cases, you're right and I'm wrong. we're all right and we're all wrong because they're opinions. Yeah, so that'll about do it. 1.5 out of 5 for me. I'm a little heavy on the story though, but there's certainly elements of Friday the 13th, and there's stuff to see here. Steve Dash acting. It's a nice farewell to see him at least one last time. So there's that. Friday the 13th fans have enough to at least watch it. There's enough Easter eggs here for you to smile and be geeked out at. But if you're asking my score, it's a 1.5 out of 5. Next time, we're going to do Crystal Lake. The Return to Crystal Lake. I forgot what it's called. It's the one that came out in August. Slightly less of a budget. And, well, we'll get to that. Other than that, I have been CP. And you haven't.